Hi guys, it's the VI show.
Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata, ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Okay, let's give it up for Tony. And let's rock and roll for George, who is a colleague of Tony. And last but not least, let's boogie on down for Bill, who is a political strategist for the Democratic Party in the U.S. Hey Tony, you are back by popular demand. I guess we just love your British no-nonsense outlook.
As you know, I am not a pessimist or an optimist, just a true harsh realist.
Really, man, I would never have guessed. I've only heard you say that about 20 times before.
We are entering very difficult times. The end is very close regarding the current economic model for the Western countries.
Hey man, what's going to happen?
There will be a market crash.
You mean a monster crash?
I was managing my assets late one night when my eyes beheld a dreadful sight. The economy began to destabilize, and suddenly, to my surprise,
The market crash,
it was a monster crash.
a monster crash.
No one could borrow cash.
The market crashed,
It collapsed in a flash.
the market crashed.
It was a monster crash.
From the corner office and executive suite to the trading floor and throughout Wall Street, everybody came from their humble abodes to salvage what they could while the system implodes.
The market crashed,
It was a monster
a
crash.
monster crash.
No one could borrow cash.
The market crashed,
It collapsed in a flash.
the market crashed.
It was a monster crash.
Hey dude, that's a catchy tune. Okay gloomy dude, why do you think the market is going to crash?
It's all down to
Hang on Tony, news is just coming in. Okay, there's just been an announcement by the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank. He states that there will be no new stimulus, just to repeat it again, and that is, there will be no new stimulus. What's your thoughts on that?
he is not offering any new stimulus for now, but I can guarantee that quantitative easing will be applied in the near future.
What's your thoughts, Bill?
The U.S., unlike the Eurozone, is in recovery. Good times are around the corner.
Hey Georgie boy, you nearly knocked yourself out there, man. What do you think about what Bill said?
Bill is a political advisor. He says what the public want to hear. The US will enter a Great Depression. Okay, Bill, what is the debt ceiling in the US?
I will have to check.
No need to bother. I can tell you it's $16.4 trillion.
When the economy grows, we can easily pay that back.
Really? Okay. How long will it take to count to 16.4 trillion, counting a different number every second?
I guess about 20 years.
It will take just over 500,000 years.
I am confident that the debt is manageable. We just need to consume more to stimulate the economy.
Hey Tony, I believe that you have a clip from Gregory Mannarino.
Yes, have a look at this.
Where I'm leading with this is talking about how Ben believes he's going to be able to control inflation. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that do not believe we're going to have inflation. I hear from a lot of you guys all the time. But I challenge all of you to this one thing. All of you out there who do not believe we're marching to a hyperinflationary environment or a massively inflationary environment. My challenge is this. Find me a situation in history where an enormous amount of money printing was undertaken and there was not inflation. There's my challenge for you.
Hey man, I better watch out. I am supposed to be the cool dude on this show.
Greg has a very good handle on the current financial events. At the moment, Ben Bernanke has disappointed the markets, and that's why the stock market is starting to fall and will continue to do so until the Federal Reserve Bank steps in. The Federal Reserve Bank will introduce further quantitative easing. It is baked into the cake. This is how matters are going to pan out. We are now entering a deflationary spiral due to the unsustainable debt levels. Demand for goods and services will continue to fall. To prevent the deflationary spiral, the central banks will continue with quantitative easing. Once QE is applied, the money supply becomes debased and commodities rise relative to the currency. This will eventually lead to hyperinflation. Greg is right. When you look back in history, fiat currencies eventually end in hyperinflation. Debt-based monetary models always end in failure. The problem is, we have had a synchronized debt binge in the Western economies. This will cause the greatest depression.
Thank you, Tony. That's all we have time for.
I was managing my assets late one night when my eyes beheld a dreadful sight. The economy began to destabilize, and suddenly, to my surprise,
The market crashed.
it was a monster crash.
A monster crash.
No one could borrow cash.
The market crashed.
It collapsed in a flash.
The market crashed.
It was a monster crash.
From the corner office and executive suite to the trading floor and throughout Wall Street, everybody came from their humble abodes to salvage what they could while the system implodes.
The market crashed.
It was a monster
A
crash.
monster crash.
No one could borrow cash.
The market crashed.
It collapsed in a flash.
The market crashed.
It was a monster crash.